So, Nick, let's take a look at the strokes gained. What do we learn from this chart? Who's trending in the right direction? Who's not? And what do you make of this chart for this week?
Yeah, Andy. This for further strokes gain or for further starting strokes. Obviously, you can go anywhere pretty much on the interweb and find find that list. PGAtour.com has the full list, but this is the top 10 over the last 12 months. Really, I said at the beginning of the playoffs, it probably isn't going to change much over these 3 weeks, and it really hasn't. I have changed a couple of the notables week to week depending on how guys were doing, but as we always talk about, this is ranked over the last 12 months, and that's where 50% of tour winners. There's been 44 tournaments this year. 22 of them have been in this top 10. So literally half of the tour winners have been in this graphic this season. And then, of course, we break it down further 6 months, 3 months to see the trends. Guys like John Rahm, third overall in the course of the year, because remember, he had a great January, February this season, but he has fallen off big time. And I say big time, but really, for a top three player in the world, he has fallen off compared to Rory or Scotty. And you can see that trend clearly on the graphic. Vic Hovland, obviously going the other way, winner last week, and had been playing very, very well, trending in a great direction. Lucas Glover, back-to-back wins 2 and 3 weeks ago. But he was actually, over the last 12 months, he ranks dead last in last week's field. So he clearly still ranks dead last in this week's field at 0.16. And even his trend, no matter how well he's been playing just these last couple of weeks or months, rather, he's still not nearly anywhere like your Scotties or your Rorys or even Vic for that matter. So, but obviously trending in the right direction. Harmon, good week last week. Fleetwood, always a bridesmaid, never a bride is what I like to call him. He just can't win. But he has been trending in the right direction and playing very well. So Max Homa is an interesting case study because he was a guy forever that had been trending in the wrong direction, but has an uptick now over the last couple of weeks. And you can see that here last 12 months and then fell over the last 6 months, but now it's started to tick back up. And he's even higher than that over just the last 3 or 4 weeks. So that's how I looked at this graphic, Andy. I like to start here to see who's been playing well for a long period of time and make sure they are trending still in the right direction over the shorter period of time. So guys like Rahm, for example, I don't necessarily want to get behind because if you don't have any good form going in right now, chances are 1 week is not all of a sudden miraculously going to turn it around. So I'll probably be avoiding him this week. But that's your top 10. As you mentioned, the two markets this week. The left column is with starting strokes, and the right column without starting strokes. So the left column, I mean, it quickly jumps up to ridiculous odds. You don't see anybody in this chart ever like Tyrell Hatton ranking are at 300 to 1 to win, but there he is because he's starting 10 shots back. But in the without starting strokes market, that's basically a standard outright market, and that's where you can see the prices, and that's where I'll be focusing most of my attention this week because aside from the top 2 or 3 guys, it's going to be pretty tough to come back in that with starting strokes market. But there you have it, Andy. And you're right. Make sure you're betting the right markets and know how those strokes work when you bet this week.